Okay, so here at Ottervale Motor Services, yes, we are a brand new Isuzu dealership. However, on top of that, we also have the capability of doing all of our work in-house for when we install upgrades and for making pickup trucks that extra bit special for you guys. So here today, I'm going to show you around a customer's vehicle, which they have spec'd up with us, and we've actually put all of the modifications on it in-house as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a walk around this Isuzu D-Max V-Cross with plenty of optional extras. So check it out, let's see what this vehicle has got. Okay, so with this Isuzu D-Max V-Cross, there's a lot of really nice extras for it, and the customer has wanted it to be quite a utilitarian vehicle, so where we can take it off-road, use it for a lot of various different jobs, especially towing and carrying a lot of heavy haulage. However, the modifications that they have made are as follows. So, starting at the front of the vehicle, as you've probably noticed, we've got the really bright laser lamps. So these are the linear 6s, and we've got a nice pair of them hidden behind the grille. As you can see, they're set just behind, so when they're turned off, you wouldn't actually be able to easily see that they are there. I will put them on in just a moment, but we do have also these little orange beacons on the front. And the customer has also got this bonnet protector along the front, all the way going around. On these newer style V-Crosses, the bonnet protector sits a lot more flush in comparison to the older models where it used to sit a bit more angled and upright, creating a larger gap at the back. So the biggest upgrade that this vehicle has is down in here. So let me just adjust the lens for the brightness. There we go. So as you might be able to see, we have the Pedders Suspension. So this has got a lift kit on it, but the reason why you'd have the Pedders Suspension all the way around, so that's obviously it on the front, and the reason why you would have this is so you can take a lot more weight in the back of the truck, as well as raising the ride height. So there's the rear shocks. There we go. And it's hard to see it, but the rear anti-roll bar has been installed in there as well. So the reason why you'd install Pedders suspension is so you'd obviously increase the ride height, which is quite noticeable, as you can tell. We have also got BF Goodrich all-terrain tyres on here as well, but as you can clearly see, the arch gap is a lot bigger than what you would have on a normal Isuzu. So again, that's to give better ground clearance going off-road and everything else with that. But also on the rear, having the rear anti-roll bar really does help with stability of driving the truck. So with most trucks, obviously you have the normal leaf springs, but they're independent suspension. So apart from obviously the drive shafts going straight through. However, when you may notice it when you're driving, but when you go over a bump or something like that, you get this weird like bouncy effect on the back. Or if you're going around a corner on a road, especially quite quick, you might feel that the rear feels a little bit unstable. By having that rear anti-roll bar, it is another point of where you can connect the rear wheels together and the suspension points as well. So the suspension on both sides, if you've got an articulation happening within one side of the suspension, it's going to use the other side to help it out. So it works as a team. It's a nice and unison overall, which when you're driving it, you just feel that the rear end has a lot more grip on the road. And that's even more exaggerated when you go off-road because the rear suspension is working together even more so. So moving around to the rear of the vehicle, we are waiting for a couple more upgrades at this point to happen on the back, hence why it's a little bit bare at the moment. However, on the rear of the vehicle, we do have a tow bar fitted. So we have a nice tow bar all fitted. And these reversing lamps, which you can turn on manually, they're not connected to the rear lights. reversing lights, but we can obviously override that and just turn them on. These sit very flush, as you can see, to the tow bar, which give a really nice finish. These are not laser lamps, these ones. These are a different manufacturer and a different brand, but we actually find that, yes, these are a little bit cheaper, but for what the purpose of them is, you don't need the light to be thrown out as far as you would need, only because they're really useful for when you're hitching up at night time and so on. And obviously your tow bar is in a very close proximity to using the laser lamps. The laser lamps, yes, they do have a utility range, but the customer specified actually they didn't want to spend all of the money just on the rear reversing lights, and that we put these ones on. And we do find these to be a very popular option, so they do sit very flush to the tow bar as well. And then while we're on the tow bar, obviously we've got the pin there and the electrics as well. With this one, as you can see, at the moment there is nothing in the rear. This is what you would get on a standard V-Cross. So you just have the metal base of the tub and obviously on the rear tailgate as well. The paint, obviously, unfortunately, that's going to get scratched up, but a very popular option, which you guys would already know, is you have the load liner that goes in throughout the whole tub. And obviously you have different load liners which may sit on top of the lip or sit underneath, depending if you're having a canopy or not. Personally, if it was me, I would quite like the rear windows tinted as well to match the black aesthetic, because obviously you've got the black wheels, the black body, and everything else. All of the detailing is all nice and black, including down here on the side steps. It's a very dark satin grey, and again satin grey on the handles, and that matches in with the wing mirror as well. Another nice thing that the customers added on here was obviously the wind deflectors, which again sit on top of the doors. They don't sit under the window frame or hooking in, which they do on some other ones. And with that, they actually sit over the top here, and it just creates a nice smoother look all the way around. On the interior, so this one is a manual version. However, it's a standard V-Cross interior. Just adjust the lens so you can see a bit more. So yeah, standard V-Cross interior. Again, you've got the very nice leather here, leather cap dashboard, and obviously a very large screen in the middle as well. And then if we go around to the driver's side, another nice feature of the V-Cross actually is here you can lock it with your thumb and also unlock it as well without having to take the key out of your pocket. So if you are doing a muddy job or something and you can't find the key on you, and it's easy to do that. Anyways, down here, so underneath, so this is obviously where the steering wheel is and so on. Down here we have, what we tend to put in is all of these extra buttons. So we have the reverse lights, which we will put on and I'll show you in a moment. And here, this is the override button to have the laser lamps come on with the main beam or without. So I've turned them off now. So currently we've got the main beam on the dashboard, turn it off. And if I did have that selected, the laser lamps would come off with the main beam. So you can have it whichever preference you prefer when you're driving in the different conditions. This switch, we've had to put an extra one just on the side here. And the reason why we've done it that way round is because this is for the warning lights on the front. So by doing that, it's easier just to know exactly which button is for what setting. So without the driver having to look at all of those buttons, he knows exactly which ones are doing what. And again, coming around to the rear to show you those reversing lights on, which are in a very cool white. As you can see, it's got the nice LED pattern as well there. And again, a view of the interior. So there we have it. There is a quick roundup of this customer's specification on this Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. So if you would like this specification on your truck, please contact us on the details in the description down below. And rather than just this specification, we could do anything that you would like to your D-Max V-Cross. So get in contact with us if you want to accessorize any of your vehicles, despite there being brand new, second hand, or it doesn't have to be an Isuzu either. It could be a Ford Ranger, it could be a Toyota Hilux, it could even be a Citroen Berlingo, or any other vehicle of your choice. So luckily here at Ottervale Motor Services, we can actually install all of those accessories on site to your specifications as well. So if you like this video, leave a like and a comment down below, and we'll see you guys for the next vehicle review.